Good evening, delegates. This is Acting Chairman Gaius Sorgel Publicola, also representing the delegation to the GUM from the State of Sandus. Undoubtedly, many people are perhaps shaken or concerned with what happened last Sunday. Currently, as we speak, several uh, members have and several delegations have noted their intention to boycott today's session. Um, they are within their rights to do so. I have invited them back and to join us, noting specifically history that shows that uh, certain events can take place on those days that they have boycotted. Um, Specifically, I was alluding to the Korean War. However, this event did not strike at the heart of our organization. It did not. No matter our intermicronational politics, no matter our personal or micronational politics, these things did not strike at the very purposes, the very ideas of what created our organization, and that is the cooperation and the advancement of each and every member state within the organization. Of course, some may say that the cooperation has been damaged by the fact that this motion of no confidence took place. I spoke with Mr. Uh, Doulahan last evening, and he expressed to me his belief um, that there were no heartfelt emotions. Um, and again, as I have said many times before, everything that was conducted last Sunday was merely business. And that is why I believe it is more important rather to focus on this event than to focus on our own advancement. That is why I have chosen Mr. Austin, pardon me, that's why I have chosen Mademoiselle Caesar to be my vice chairman. He has excellent experience and the ability to be negotiable, something that I believe that I personally lack. Um, and I believe that both of us and all of us together can work together in order to continue the advancement of our individual member states. One such affair that I believe needs very importance is the reincorporation of the GUM into intermicronational politics. When I was a very, very young micronationalist, the GUM often commented on various issues in intermicronational affairs. Uh, there were some times when the chair um, would give his opinion on certain issues, and we would comment on that as an organization. Personally, I believe that that would show our ability as an organization. I believe it would show our advancement in intermicronational affairs, and it would also show our cooperation with the outside world, uh, specifically to say that we are cooperating as an organization, as member states, as micronations, above all else. Um, I believe also that we must be more inviting and more forceful to a few former member states who have decided most recently not to return. Um, the Federal Republic of St. Charlie, I believe, would be a very beneficial provisional member at least. Um, uh, And I believe that the reincorporation of even the member states into our regular discussions in the the GUM lounge would be very beneficial. Um, Already, under the past chair, Flangrensis rejoined our organization as an observer, and already uh, Monsieur Arkel has already uh, begun to join in our conversations. Um, Another thing that I believe, um, specifically with advancement and cultural advancement and political advancement, is what is, I believe, a restructuring of the former chairs, Mr. Doulahan's master classes. In my long life, as so to speak, as a micronationalist, I have seen the birth and the demise of many universities, many academic bodies, even within Sandus itself, uh, the Collegio Caesarde, of course. Um, the only platform that I believe makes sense for academia within our intermicronational community is not to have courses. Of course, there are some things which require courses. They require material to be taught. For instance, constructed languages. Um, but what I believe is more educative is the fact that we can have discussions, which is why I not only believe that we need to begin to foster, if anything, courses that can be discussed, um, but also discussions not necessarily planned, but within our lounge. Uh, I believe that if we start doing this, not only will we be able to advance ourselves, not only uh, will there be diffusion between member states, but there will also be a larger cooperation between member states. Because as those conversations go on, we will begin to understand our colleague, our peer, much better. And that is something that I believe will be very beneficial for us. Um, I would also like to see a larger involvement from the Secretary, or pardon me, from the Security Council, specifically in international affairs. Um, it does not necessarily have to do with defense, um, but even its basic voice in some of the in some of the most lowest forms of micronational diplomacy. I believe that we can not only begin to use the Security Council as a force um, for a larger calm within the community, but I also believe that we can begin to not enforce, but rather inform other micronationalists of our view of professionalism, of what we believe that micronationalism is. Um, and of course, we believe that it is diplomacy to the greatest degree, rather than, as some micronationalists would have it, a forum post or a small, risque Skype conversation. To me, that is not diplomacy, though some people think it is. Um, but I believe that if the Security Council would become more involved in those sort of issues, that it could be a driving force not only for our organization, but for our community, for this new generation and past generations of micronationalists. At any rate, um, even if these policies do not all plan out, I am sure that some of these issues will be resolved in the upcoming weeks. And I hope that by the end of May, we will have an election on board that will elect a chair that is perhaps um, more able than I may be, as I'm sure many of you are undoubtedly um, concerned as if I acted in personal benefit in the affairs that happened over the past few days. Um, but that is a sorry tale, and I believe that we can all continue to cooperate together, and that we must actually cooperate. Um, that is why that I've invited my several colleagues from member states, pardon me, who have uh, boycotted today's quorum. That is why that I've invited them back. Not to show that I am not angry with them, if not personally, um, or even on a micronation to micronation basis, on bi-national manner in diplomacy, but to show that I believe that we can all cooperate and work together. And that is the basic purpose of this organization. And what happened Sunday was not an attack on the basic purpose of this organization. Um, it was not an attack on our values. It was not an attack on the basic purposes of this organization. And I believe that we need to go back to the Constitution and show our purposes for this organization and work towards them. And so essentially that is my plan for these next few weeks. But they are my plans for each and every individual micronation, each and every individual member state, not for our organization as a block or as a whole, but for each and every individual micronation, each and every individual member state within our organization. Because that's the basic purpose of this organization. And with that, c'est tout, et c'est la fin.